Hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Slavika. Good, thank you. How are you?
Good as well. Good morning, Noha.
Good morning. Good morning, Omnia.
Morning,
Good morning,
Naha.
sir.
How are
How
you?
are I'm doing fine, and you?
Alhamdulillah, fine, good.
Alhamdulillah.
How do you feel now? How are things
Much well, Alhamdulillah, much better than the last week. And I'm taking myself to the stage of acceptance. This way you can tell yourself it's okay. It's not a big issue. This type of feeling.
good? Good, perfect.
Did something happen or you were overwhelmed with work?
And it's overwhelmed the work. Plus, I got lost in family due to the COVID-19, and
Oh,
my
wow.
yeah,
I'm so
and
sorry to hear.
thank you, Slavika. And my aunt is suffering as well from the COVID-19 as well at the moment, and she's transferred to the hospital.
Mhm.
Praying for her to get well soon. Not sure how it's progressing because the doctors are saying sometimes that the oxygen level gets increased, which is good, and
Mhm.
sometimes it gets decreased, which is not good as well. So,
Mm,
it's not a stable stage. So let's hope things will be better, inshallah.
inshallah, inshallah.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
wish
So,
you the best.
yes,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
and in these cases, we can't do anything but to just accept and pray.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, how about you, Slavika? How are you? How are things going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm back at work. It's all
Oh,
going good. I worked for a couple of hours yesterday on my speech. It became very personal.
Mm-hmm, good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if I'm comfortable in doing the speech at this stage, but yes. I mean, it's not that personal. It's just that I'm not used on speaking about these personal things in front of people. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And this is part of what we're trying to do here, to become more comfortable speaking about our personal things,
Yeah.
just in order to give value to other people and inspire.
Yes.
How was your vacation?
Yeah, it was perfect. It was great. I think it makes a huge difference. I know that you have a lot of sea near Egypt as well and near Jordan. For us, I think it
Mhm.
made a huge difference, especially about what you are saying, just to be able to get back your breathing capacity, just clean air and the salt from the sea. I think it makes a difference. I know it's vague, but for us, it made the difference. I think I would be still sick if I stayed in the Netherlands and worked.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, this is these are things that we disregard usually, but
Yeah.
they're very important. We think health is just about taking some medicines if we're sick, but if we're just
Yeah.
take some time as you did under the sun with the water and clean air,
Yeah,
you start
exactly.
feeling
It
healthy.
makes a difference. Yes.
Yes. So, how are you today with the speeches? And how far have you gone with the lessons? I know that Slavika watched all the lessons almost 2 weeks
uh,
ago already.
uh, mine, I have gone yesterday till the week of fourth week with the first two lessons. Then I stopped because I felt when I'm working, I'm not giving any input. That's why I did till the fourth week. So I felt like I'm 25% from the fourth week. So if there are remaining few lessons, I will recap with the new week because I discovered yesterday that I'm 2 weeks away from the lessons progress. So I hope I will be able to cover.
We're not really 2 weeks away. So, when you finish week 4, if you finished week 4 by now, this is where we are now.
No, 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 not yet. Week four, I arrived to the lesson number 22.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes.
So it would remain like 23, 24, 25, and 26. Because 27, it's take a break, and 28, it's the assessment.
Yes. So, how was your speech, Noha?
Well, I was glad to work because I felt that there was a progress while I'm working on, especially in the selection of the word. Besides the question of the body language, I could imagine how I should be stepping or working or moving my hands while I'm talking, as well the eye contact. I start to think there are some points that we did not pay attention for at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But to say how far I'm confident to give this in front of lots of audiences, I cannot tell until I try, you know,
Yes,
because
yes. But
we
did you write the speech?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, the speech is ready. And for you, Slavika, how's the speech?
Yeah, I finished one draft version of the speech yesterday evening. Yes.
Good, good. So what we will do today, we will first work a little bit on the speech and then work on the dose of eloquence. We will be practicing few things about that, just going through the CCAP strategy very briefly and then practicing specific things.
Okay.
And we'll see how our time takes us. So who would like to start with delivering the speech?
I could start by the hook, for example, or should I go for the full speech?
No, everything. You just
Okay.
tell your speech. Will you be ready to tell your speech?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Um,
So Noha, if you can just please lower the camera a little bit so we can see more than here.
let me see.
Yes.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Okay. So you need to know what's about before I go into the speech, or could I go for it directly?
Just go for it directly, please.
Okay. We are a young continent full of opportunities. More than 57 countries habited by more than 1 billion and 260 million of population, where almost 65% is under age of 25, full of large quantity of natural resources, including diamonds, sugar, salt, gold, iron, cobalt, uranium, and more. Still highest percentage of unemployment is the dominant across our countries. Imagining this situation, would you be able to help in solving this dilemma of unemployment? Can you be part of the solution? Actually, yes. You, as an entrepreneur, can benefit from the existing human and natural resources and more to contribute to the problem solving. You can do this. How? For each created startup, at least one direct job opportunity is generated and 1.117 indirect job as well, as reported by the International Council for Small Businesses. Small businesses is powerful, is a larger impact than the big corporates. Your small enterprise can make a lot to you, to the community, and to the overall continent, believe it or not. To learn more, we'll start by talking about one of the largely implemented programs to help entrepreneurs worldwide with more than 65,000 trainers in more than 100 countries and 3,000 partner organizations. All together, joining efforts to support you in your journey as entrepreneur from the ideation phase up to your business expansion in other countries. Definitely, lots of us thought one day to have his or her own company, but we all hesitated. Today, we are here to help you overcome this hesitation, to move from the idea in mind to idea on paper, and from idea to in paper into a business plan, and from the business plan to start with the business improvement as well, its expansion. So it's a journey, it's not one day session, it's not one day talk. It's like a journey where we are escorting you hand by hand to help you achieving your goal and realizing your dreams. You may think this is a program on papers, and I don't blame you. Because one day I thought the same as you did. But while working in this program, I took it from trainer point of view to apply on my own business. I'm glad to say that I have been selected to be the success story for this program in 2017 in my country. We are in the same continent, full of the same challenges and threats, as well most of the opportunities. Glad to say that while I'm applying this, I achieved to do it, and glad to say that I have been accredited by success in front of lots of potential entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs, as well as peer trainers and master trainers. How I did it? In each time I stand to train new entrepreneur on how to apply the principles of the program on their idea or on their business, I discovered my mistakes. Each time I'm pointing to someone, I'm telling him or telling her, this is totally wrong. Cannot be applicable. Is not the right way. I discovered that I was working the same way and I'm taking the same role. From training other, I learned from. So you, even as entrepreneur, though that you might be sitting in the trainee or the participant stage seat today, you have informed me the success of my business as well. How we did it? Through the content, through the planning, and I would like to re-emphasize on the word planning several times. When we plan for something, we put the target in front of us. We all work together to make it happen. From this stage, we start to see how the plan can work. At the beginning, it was like imaginary plan with lots of goals and tactics. But when we start to see what are the resources we have on hand to achieve it, we start to understand that the plan was just a dream. So we work our plan to make it a smart plan, specific, measurable, achievable, reliable, and time bound. By applying those rules, we start to have our plans on ground and we start to have our goals achieved and we can see our progress as well as most our failures. But instead of calling failures, I would say decision that should be revised. While I'm saying so, you may think this was a short-term plan that has been achieved in a night and day, but actually it was not. I was working with the team. It was not only me. We have lots of fights. We work together. We have lots of discussion and disputes where we each one was pledging for his or her own idea, stating this is the right one. I have never felt ashamed to say, okay, your idea was better than mine. Though that I'm the founder of the business, but I was keen to empower them. And part of the empowering is giving them the decision possibility. I mean, they are capable to take a decision that I don't like, but I will respect and I will support if they are giving the good logic and we review the results versus the decision. Tough journey, long, expensive. Expensive from time, expensive from resources, expensive for risk taking at certain point where I have to say, will it work? What if it didn't? What should I do? Am I going to lose every penny I put in this company? What if I lose all of this? Those questions were in my mind, but when I shared with the team, they helped me to find a point. They said, even though that we lost the penny, still we have our success and we have the lessons learned from which we can form our new success journey. How far it was easy? It wasn't. I have been in the situation and I'm here and I've been selected to tell you this because when they have reviewed my journey, they found lots of constraints, big mistakes, wrong decisions, but they said you have done it at by the end. If you think it was easy, no, it was not. If you think I'm telling this from theoretical point of view, where I'm telling this while I'm sitting behind my desk, no. I was working every single point. I was moving around. I was trying to make things happening as it should be. And if it didn't work, what I should do, I review my plan. Sometimes I would feel shy to say I failed. It was really tough at certain point when you said it after a long walk to make. But I work my mindset to believe it will work and accept the failure as part of the journey to learn from the next steps. As I said several times, it was not an easy journey, but also it's an endless journey. It's enjoyable, scalable, hard, touch, challenging, but also amazing. What I would regret? I would regret if I didn't start. I would regret if I did not focus on the time resources. I would regret if I did not work on my willingness and to rework my fear of failures and to rework my poor commitment in some issues. And if I'm listing this, it's an endless list. I would regret if I did not try to make my journey. But as a human, I decided to accept the failure as part of the journey. And I didn't call them failure, I called them lessons learned. And it's okay if I have lots of these reasons and call them by the right words, fears, but it worked. Sometimes I felt the need to get support and engage encouragement. So I searched among my community to find the right person or persons to talk with, persons who can share my language. They were like my sponsors. When I'm talking about sponsors, I'm not talking financial or payment sponsor, but about more of emotional and moral sponsors. You think that what I'm saying is nice, maybe, or maybe it's not realistic. But I would encourage you to make one step today. Think about your dream and think what would happen if you start to make your dream a reality. What would happen if you don't? The dream as a dream, it's a nice step and nice start, but it's more about actions, reactions, and actions. It's about success and failure, then success, then slowing down, then speeding up, then trying and facing your failures with courage. And again, it's not failure unless you decide to call it failure. The question is, do you dare to dream? Inside each one of you of us may have a louder voice telling this will never happen. And I was one among the people who had heard this voice. But today I'm encouraging you and standing behind you and ask you, think louder, share your ideas with the right group, and for which I created the group Journey to Succeed Starts, and together we'll find the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Noha. Now,
Thank you.
first question.
Hmm.
Did you use the structure?
More or less.
Okay.
For the ad hook, I try to use it. For the ending, I try to use it. For the middle, it was more about my journey that I was trying to transform it into the content itself.
Okay. How long was it? Did you ever check how many words?
No, I didn't, but I can check now. Okay. Okay. Can I will checking and let you know, okay, while I'm doing this.
Okay. So you had a different speech last time. Completely.
Yeah, but I didn't feel it more that I want to be. It was about the running, and I prefer to talk about something that I feel more confident. It's between my journey as an entrepreneur and my experience personally, and how we feel in different countries in Africa while we are starting our own business.
Mm-hmm. So Slavika, what are the things you liked in the speech?
I like the personal, everything that was personal.
Mm-hmm. What are the
So
things that you think can improve?
the first part was not that catchy as last time, I think. I was missing a story. I was missing a story,
Okay.
to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So Nuha, for me as well, although
Yes.
it's a rich
Mm.
speech, but it feels for me that you went back to your comfort zone, which is
More or less. More or less, I won't deny. Yeah.
so you were talking about something that's more professional. There's a lot of lecturing rather than you telling the story. Even the story, it wasn't clear for me as well, at least. I couldn't track the story. I couldn't understand. Okay, you started, it was a little challenging. What I got out of the story that you started, it was challenging, and then
Nothing.
you kind of, yeah, okay, then what?
Mm.
You accepted the failures and tried to learn from them, and you're asking people to go. So it wasn't clear to me, all of it. I think the point is that in the body you did not follow the structure, so there was no V, there was no path where the story is going. I like that you put the effort and wrote all of this. It seems a little longer than 10 minutes. I didn't.
Yes, I think. Yeah.
So it shouldn't be more than 1,300 words. It should not be.
Okay.
Seems that it's at least 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think, Noha, of this?
I think I'm still afraid to make a good speech.
Okay.
You know, I'm trying to refer to where at points I can use it very easy and think that I can talk about it confidently, like using the numbers as sort of text or statistics, which is made me more comfortable, which is okay, but it's not the best thing to do because the number is fine. But when you are talking about to help people, inspire them to make decision, it's not the best thing that you start by because you are trying to share your personal experience. So it's one of the points I was trying to refer to as a way, as you said, comfort zone. You know, I'm going because I still in content to make the speech. You know, because I have to add hook, so I use the statistics as part of the techniques for. But if I have to make it, I think I should. I'm not sure how should I do it, but at least to get away from the area where I feel more comfortable. I deal with numbers more confidently because I'm more into the research as well. Avoid my personal, I'm not sure if the experience was rich or not because I talked very lightly. I did not focus on a situation where people can understand how to miss the deadline, how to miss your pay, how for which you miss your payments, for example, and it's important for any startup. You know, things like this might be more attractive, and I focus from the pain that I felt or the struggling I went through till I get the company on ground.
You said all of this very well. I think you see it, you can see it. And even if you want to talk about entrepreneurship or something that's professional like this, obviously you feel like you want to talk about that. As you said, you would want to provide a story, not only saying that it was challenging, you want to tell what was challenging, how was it challenging. So the answer is not what you felt only, you want to explain it. Why did you feel so? You felt it was challenging. Okay, what was challenging exactly? What were the challenging moments?
Yes.
Where were you and how did it unfold? All of this. I would, however, encourage you to go back to the previous one because you had a full story, you had a full path. You wouldn't want, you don't need to go and draft everything from scratch. You have something. Go back to the recording of the previous session.
Okay.
Listen to yourself and listen to the comments and work on them because I could see the passion. Because now I'm talking from my observation here as an audience.
Yes.
I did not feel any passion from your side. I didn't feel passion. I felt that you're telling us something and that you're trying to push us as audience to get out of our comfort zone, but I did not feel the passion of it. So you were more speaking from an educator, a lecturer hat, wearing a lecturer hat, rather than someone that went through this and these are the lessons they learned and we should learn from them, we could learn from them.
I agree with you, yes.
Okay, so do you think you can, of course, you choose the topic. I'm just suggesting that you go back to the previous one.
Okay.
And one thing that happens when we fall in this trap of being in our comfort zone and just writing something in order to create a speech, and we have a task, we have a homework, we want to do it, this is my speech, it becomes harder to listened to by the audience. They lose track. I had to put efforts to keep track, to try to keep track with your speech.
I agree because the structure is not well interconnected together.
Yeah,
As if I'm listing a number of topics and none of them has been developed till the end.
exactly. However, you do have not only the knowledge, but you also have a talent of storytelling. You have a talent of speaking and telling something. So you can use that. We've seen that. I'm sure Slavika would agree with this. We've seen it in the
Yes,
improvisation.
absolutely.
Yeah, you were improvising things from scratch and doing them as if they were prepared speeches. It's
Thank
easy
you.
for you. So if you just put the time and leave everything else out of your mind when you're working on this, connect with your inner self and inner stories, and draft it from love. Try to come out of it from love. Like you're loving your story, you're appreciating yourself, and you're loving the audience you're delivering it to. You want to inspire these people and teach them from what you've learned.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Noha. Great
Thank you.
effort once again.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good effort. You're welcome. So, Slavika,
Yes, I'm not prepared to deliver the speech.
it's
I
okay.
can present my screen and read it or explain it, but I'm not ready to present it.
You can read it to us without us having to read it with you. We don't need to see the
Okay.
text.
Yes. Okay, I will try to do my best, but it will be more reading than improvising and doing a
That's
speech.
okay.
Okay. By a show of hands, how many of you have apologized for leaving a meeting on time to pick up your child from daycare or school? Netherlands is considered one of the best countries worldwide when it comes to work-life balance. It has one of the highest rates of employment, parental education, and life satisfaction in childhood. The female employment rate in NL is well above the OECD average, 70%, compared to an average of 60. And young women in the Netherlands are also more educated than the average and more educated than than young men, that their fellow male students. And here comes the catch. Over 55% of the working mothers work part-time. Also, women in the Netherlands spend around 2 hours more per day working than their male colleagues. Going back to myself, my 2-year contract ended when I was 5 months pregnant. It was more of a matter of coincidence and budget, lack of it. I knew I was good at my job, but it still left me with resentment. At the same time, two of my close friends found themselves in similar situations. Theoretically, no employer has to renew your contract after the end date. But this happening while you're in mid-pregnancy, it is not the desired situation you want to be. It is not what you wish for yourself or anyone else. It fills you with anger, resentment at the system, at the organizations, but most of all at the fact that it becomes evident that in practice, this scenario is still happening to women far more than to men. And still today, and still in the Netherlands, the country that is praised for its high rate of female employment. Today, I will share with you my new expat, new mother experience in the Dutch corporate world. Situation 1. You're on a job interview, and among other relevant questions, you are asked if your kid is enrolled into daycare. You know, in the Netherlands, it is not that easy to find a place at the daycare. Kids are enrolled when they are born, the interviewer says. You, unexperienced, coming from another country, new mother, take another sip of water to break the nervous silence and just follow through. You have the right answer to this question, and that answer is yes. It does not matter that your future employer should not ask you this question. So the circle of apologetic working parent starts somewhere here. Situation 2. Rainy Wednesday. It's your not working day. Your kid is sick and she only sleeps if you hold her in your arms. You have still unfinished work because it seems as a 14 hours work week has been shrinked to fit a 24 hours work week. You hold your child in one arm and answer emails with the other. You end up in an endless policy and technicalities discussions with an assignee and his manager about his complicated tax situation in 4 countries. They call you knowing that you are not working that day, and they just want to avoid another email conversation. Apologetically, you mention, I have a child in my hands. Please don't mind if she wakes up and cries during our call. Situation 3, early winter. You're having your first annual review conversation with your new manager. She is a woman, early 50s, very experienced, high emotional intelligence. You start explaining that you spend the evenings after you put your child to sleep to catch deadlines, to answer emails, to prepare for meetings. You ask whether your colleagues have complained about you getting to work at 9 and leaving exactly at 5. After all the colleagues that are being promoted are the ones that come first and leave last. You praise your husband on the fact that he shares equally the caregiving and household responsibilities with you. And then you stop for a second and realize you have no idea why you're speaking about this during your annual performance review. So she smiles at you and says, I only value the work you do, not when and how you manage to do it. She adds, as an average, a good performing employee gives 50% of his or her potential and time at work. You give 90% and yet apologize. In conclusion, it takes emotional intelligence to embrace emotional intelligence. It takes one manager to convincingly tell you that they care about the value you bring and not the hours that you spend at work. It sometimes takes a lockdown and working parents to manage work and childcare simultaneously to serve as a positive example. It takes you to say loudly, my child is at home because of self-quarantine, and you will hear cartoons in the background. It takes you to create an office story out of the example of the female assignee that had to show a negative pregnancy test to receive a work permit in that new country you helped her move to. It takes you to ask more questions when the gender gap pay analysis is published at your office. It is the small daily wins that bring us the widest smiles. Finally, to every new working mother in the audience, you're not alone. The struggle is not unique, but it is heavy. Find your small wins on a daily basis and take it one step at a time. To all experienced working mothers, to give that helping hand when you see yourself in your new colleague. You might actually end up beating the odds together. By a show of hands, how many of you will think twice before apologizing for your child suddenly appearing on your camera during your next video call? Go from being a victim to being a change maker. Stop being apologetic about being a working mom. Embrace the beauty and the complexity of it. That's it.
Very well, Slavika. Noha, what do you think? Can't hear you.
Okay, it was very well articulated, and I like the message very much, except one point I would suggest. By the closing, the tone of voice should be different.
Oh, I am just reading. My tone
Okay.
of voice is absolutely not what I wanted
No,
to
but
be.
I enjoyed, and I can recall every point, and the question of being change maker, I like it, and I like her, the female manager who was conducting the annual assessment or performance assessment. And I like the way that you reformulate her role, because at the beginning I thought she would be mean. Then I discovered that she would be a nice person, which is nice by the end of the day. but the closing or the ending should have a tone different, stronger, because you have an achievement, you have a victory, small victory, even because I felt this by the end of the session of the speech. That's my point. That's the only.
Yes. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Naha. Thank you. I love it, Slavika. I love the different situations that you you took us through. I think you managed to show clearly the case. What I'm feeling, and you please tell me if it's true or not. I have a little feeling that you're putting these situations in order to take yourself out of the story. You're showing a story as if you're talking about someone else. You're saying you. You're showing us. So imagine yourself in this situation. Imagine yourself in this situation. Imagine yourself in this situation, as if you're saying that. And you're not really saying, this is my story. This is how it was for me. This is my journey, and this is how I went out of it, and this is how what I am trying to do. So you're not showing ownership of the story. Is this just because you want the audience to feel the same feeling, or is this also for Slavika not to have ownership because you don't feel yet that you're ready to own it?
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I think I just subconsciously started writing like that. I don't know. I was not aware of it until now, to be very honest.
Now, although this is very good what you've done, I would encourage you, for the sake of Slavika, for the sake of this program, is to write it as your story.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah.
story. Starting here, this is how I felt. So show also the feelings you had. Tell the conversations. Not only show situation from far away as this is happening to somebody else, but show it as you and tell how you felt about it, the insecurities you felt, and then the need to do something differently. This journey, if you show us this journey, all of it, this can be even more inspiring and more impactful.
Yeah.
It's very good as it is, but for the
Yeah.
sake of this program, we want to go the extra mile.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I look forward to hearing it, because this seemed to be another really, really good speech, and I kind of have an idea of what kind of audience. So you're talking about working women, you're talking about all of this. Probably this will need to be with an audience of women, working women, women in business, who are mostly mothers.
Yeah, but not necessarily. I think people end up in these situations even if they're not mothers. It would happen to some fathers as well. It would happen to people that are just single but are in a situation that they either care for someone at the family or just have their own life and need to leave work at
That's
5
true.
or do something for themselves. I think it's not that restricted.
That's true. That's true. And having said that, you saying that, maybe you want to, by the end, to reference that. This might seem only for mothers, concerned only for mothers, but in fact, more people go through this. Those who are caring for their elder parents, those, I don't know, so different situation, maybe students even.
Yeah.
So maybe you would want to just highlight it so other people will feel that it's related to them as well.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love both of your efforts. Thank you for taking the time to finish writing the speeches, put the efforts. Now, as you work on them more, you're more ready, you're more familiar with the structure, you're more familiar with the content you want to deliver, and you would do it. We still have more weeks to go, and slowly you will be able to enhance it, but I can already see how amazing it will be. So now, going with the eloquence the dose of eloquence. I would like to first hear from you. I remember last time, Slavika, you said that it was a little overwhelming because you didn't take it one step at a time. Did you have the time to go through it slowly?
While I was writing, I was listening to the courses. So basically, I had you on my headphones and I was writing at the same time. I'm not sure that I have implemented them all, but I did try to implement the SECAF techniques. Some of them just do not come natural to me when I'm writing, and it takes more effort. The being expressive, clean, yes, with the passive words and trying to, I didn't do that. I didn't, because it takes a lot of effort, and I was trying to finish it first and then to be able to modify it. But I went back to the structure and the purpose, and I was listening to that again, and that made a difference. Just hearing again while I'm writing, it made a difference, at least in the way that I'm trying to express myself.
Very good. Very good. How was it for you, Noha? I know that you watched only 2 lessons.
Well, I try to focus on the ad hoc very much. We're using the statistics, as I said earlier. I was trying to consider how I'm going to use the body language while I'm doing this. So I try to formulate for me some steps while I'm writing the speech, as if I'm standing on the stage, making some steps ahead and some steps back. I focus on the selection of the words to be simple and easy to understand, and avoiding as much as possible words that having more than 2 syllables or having more than 3 syllables. I try. Some words are not avoidable, like international or opportunities and words like this. I try to find, because I find chances is less as word to use it as alternative. But as overall, I found that as a person, I tend to use the words simple to understand, easy to pronounce it without difficulty for the other people.
Okay.
When I reviewed this, what is missing, I felt so much, the interconnection between the intro and the main focus or the main objective I'm looking for, and the structure itself. How could I spot on using the different situations? Because I would say something, when I'm mirroring my story through the story of Slavika, I found lots of situations that could tell where, for example, tough situation, for example, we have submitted a proposal at 9:02, meanwhile it should be submitted at 9. So we missed the opportunity to get into the tendering just for 2 minutes difference of time. And it was a huge work of more than 250 pages, for example. This one of situation which can tell more for the entrepreneur. The question of being control freak, and I should have the office keys on my hand. And but one day I decided to have like 4 copies distributed to the different members of the team, because I have to travel and there is no way to work from home at that time. And we have all to be on the office. They have all to be in the office. So I found very humoristic situation when I said I have to have the key, only person having the key on hand, and the next day I have to issue 4 copies distributed to the team, which was amazing. Wow, I should do this. I don't have alternatives. Otherwise, I get the office stuck. It is the question moving from one man show to a team, to a structure. It's a decision from soul, mind, soul concept, soul idea, soul decision, to empowering and accepting criticism to your own decision as a founder. Hey, I'm the one who's paying. It has nothing to do if you are looking to empower people. So while you are telling this, I can recall situation. I think if I said it, it will be like more of fun, mixed of lessons that could engage the audience more. So I like the way that Slavika is telling the situations. I like it so much. When you are saying situation 1, situation 2, situation 3, I felt as if I'm in a movie or a theater, watching a play where situations are taking me from scene to another, more than situations, where I can really feel how did you feel at the moment.
Good, good, good. I like that you made it a reflection about the whole speech and also reflecting on Slavika's speech. The situation idea is very good. I praise you for it, Slavika. Yet don't forget to own it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes in movies when they tell stories of other people, they will show other people on there. But now, because we want to make it inspiring, we're talking
Yeah.
about us and it's connected to our emotions. So we want to make it close to us and people can feel it. So mainly, you know how we were now specifically speaking about the CCAF strategy of the Dose of Eloquence week,
Yes,
which you've watched the simple. You started with simple,
yes.
yeah?
We have simple. Let me recall. Simple, expressive, um, clean.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, F was for focus. A for achieving.
Alive,
Alive.
Alive. Okay.
yes.
So simple. I was keen to select easy words to say. E expressive. No, my words were not that much. I did not express my feelings a lot.
So here, when we say expressive in this context specifically,
Yes.
it's about using rhetorical devices.
Okay.
So you will see a whole lesson about it, but
Yes.
mainly this is one of the things that I find many people are challenged with because they don't use it often. What happens is that when we speak, sometimes our speech become dry because we just want the point to be sent, delivered to the other people, and we don't make it artistic enough.
Yes.
So using rhetorical devices helps us make it artistic and deliver the message more effectively to other people.
Yes.
Do you see yourself using these things like metaphors, analogies, and so on? Do you see yourself using them often in your life in general, or
In ge-
Mhm.
in general, yes, but in the speech, as if I was avoiding them. Those that I know how to use them in a way that can make fun or not making criticism or criticizing other people, as if I made it for myself to transform the message. While I'm talking to the team, for example, and I know how to use it, but I don't know why I did it in the speech. Maybe I was a little bit, my mind is still not mixing that still the personal experience could be mixed or transformed in the same way into it while I'm doing the speech, maybe.
Yeah, so it's okay if you in the first draft you didn't have them, but in general in your life, Slavika, do you find yourself using them?
Yeah, metaphors, analogies, yes, especially when using sarcasm or trying to be a bit humorous in everyday life or conversations at work. Yes, I do use them in the speech. Not so much. What I was focusing and what I really liked in the structure is basically the senses. You have noted somewhere just how did you feel, what was around you, describe the situation, and the second one was really explaining who is there, what is happening. And I think that makes a bit of a difference when you're trying to explain because you're more specific, but also you're trying to take the person with you to experience what you are doing. So that was very helpful, and that's what I focused on more.
That's very good, and especially in telling stories, this is very important to to be specific in that, to make it alive and use all the senses. Now, let's play a little bit with the rhetorical devices, and then we go to that. I want to play a game with you
Okay.
and see how we can do it. So, taking turns, you will be trying to come up with any kind of rhetorical device of your choice, expressing something specific.
Okay.
So, you will be asking each other
Mhm.
to express something. So, maybe, for example, Noha could ask you, Slavika, how express to me how do you feel about your daughter?
Mhm.
And you will try to use something like that. You can ask Noha, Slavika, express to me how challenging your office work is,
Mhm.
and she'll try to express it using rhetorical devices. Okay, so we take 3 turns and let's see how we do. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
so whomever you choose can start. One is deciding what to say and the other one is speaking.
Okay, go ahead, Slavika, by the question.
Okay. How do you feel when you decide to take a break and go for a run during the day?
Well, I feel like I'm a running student from the school, as if I'm missing a session, and I feel actually very happy when I do this. And I have zero guilt feeling, you know. It's as if, hey, I'm leaving you here in the hell, and I'm going to have my break out.
So as if you're
Uh,
escaping from school.
yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
Okay, Slavika, how do you feel with the number of emails you get early in the morning?
I didn't catch the first part.
How do you feel when you get about 5 emails urging in the morning?
Emails early in the morning.
Yeah, like urging for an action.
Uh-huh. I usually feel mad as a lion because they are not the thing that people are asking me for is not usually urgent and is something that we could have done 2 months ago every day, but now this morning at 5 it suddenly becomes urgent.
Okay.
Okay, Noha, how do you feel when you have upcoming deadline every day of the next working week?
Literally, why did I grow up? It would be better if I say a child with less commitments.
Yeah,
You
but
know
you
this.
try to use a rhetorical device.
Okay. Why did I open the email even? Why we didn't have the shutdown with the internet connection today? Why things are working very well when I don't think them to work like?
But still, this is not using rhetorical devices. It's
Okay.
questioning.
Okay. I would look like a dumb kid forced to go to school without having his favorite food with. Actually, you know, I
Without
feel I
having
have
what?
having his favorite food with.
Hmm.
I feel like punished. Why you are doing this?
Okay. So you're punished like a child.
Yeah. Slavika, how would you feel if you have a day off and you get a mail stating it's urgent to reply back?
Again, I didn't catch the first part.
Okay, how would you feel when
Uh-huh.
you get it's your day off
Ah,
and you get an email urging for your reply and your comments and you have to work for?
I usually now I try to feel as peaceful as water. And I am doing my best to learn the skill of letting it go and not replying the same day.
Bravo.
I don't always succeed, but I'm teaching myself how to do this.
Good. One more round.
Yes. Noha, how do you feel when you need to do a speech in front of new audience that you haven't spoken before?
Okay. I feel like I'm walking like a turtle to the stage, actually. And I'm just wondering if someone missed his speeches so he can come and take the time for, you know. And I would feel like I'm a clumsy kid in wearing a dress that does not suit to him or to her, you know. It's very wide, it's not me. Till I get into the stage for the first 30 seconds.
Quite interesting.
Yes.
Okay. How would you feel if today was supposed to be working day, but they told you, hey, we are glad to tell you this is your off day, you can have an extra off day?
Oh, I would feel free as a bird. I will probably take out my daughter from school and we will just go and do something together, like we have a new chance to enjoy free time.
Good.
Good, good, good. I like Noha, your metaphors are mostly connected to children in school.
Yes. Very, you feel as if sometimes when I get something very tough in the business, I would say, why did I study more I studied more than the nursery or kindergarten stage. I should be staying there. I should never succeed in this stage of life where you have nice time. All what you have to do, just playing, singing with your friends, getting back to home and just write few letters and number. That's it. Life was easier. I don't know. I did not expect to be that much complicated when I'm going to grow up.
This is very interesting. How did you feel about it? Just having to come up with an idea.
Sometimes I'm wondering to myself, am I really 47? Am I really grown up? Because sometimes I'm just having fights as a kid with my niece. And a few days ago, with one of runner mate, he has a sticker on his cup that I would like to take it. And he said, no, you are not going to take it. So I tried to push his chair away because I get angry. And the amazing point that I could not push him because he was extra weight than me. So it's me who went back. And the guy said, okay, next time, play that I get lost. It's wait so you can push me better. It was, but I felt I was really angry. I want this sticker. And on the other hand, when I'm in the office, I look very serious, which is not connected with my inner feelings. I'm looking like deep inside, I'm still willing to play, by the way. And you don't have to give it so much hard work or hard time as I'm having right now. You should have some, I should have some time for me more than this. I'm not sure. It's not, I think I did not get my maturity point yet.
Or
Yeah.
perhaps your inner self is not having enough time to come out.
Maybe. I think I need time to have to play.
I think this is natural for all of us.
Yeah.
And if you agree with me, I don't know, Slavika, I found that I'm discovering this more after having a daughter, that there's so much desire to play inside of me
Yeah.
that she's bringing out.
And you are allowed to play because you're with the kids, so
Yeah,
you're allowed to make a fool out of yourself in public.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly this is the permission we get
Yeah.
to be crazy. So how was the exercise for you both?
Uh, it was nice. I liked.
What did you discover anything in yourself? Was it coming easily to you? Did you like what you came up with, or when you think more about it, you think maybe I can bring something that's more connected?
Yes, that's another point.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that there is something more than I thought I have, and I can discover more by digging and thinking deeper.
What about you, Slavika?
Yeah, as well. Probably I would not use the metaphors or the analogies in real life. This was more of a forced way to include them. Otherwise, I would use them if they come naturally to me. Otherwise, I will just avoid them.
Yeah, I get you. I think we do that, as you said, both of you, that naturally we do them in real life. But sometimes when we are writing a speech and we are not yet comfortable with us writing, we exclude everything else that might seem a little out of the direct way of telling something. So here
Yeah.
it's just a, push, a hint, a trigger to try to find other way of expressing feelings rather than saying I felt sad or I felt
Mhm.
upset or I felt happy. Give it an extra expressiveness. That's a
Mhm.
word, I don't know. So, but give it an extra thing to show how it really felt. So, to go a little deeper in the feeling, not to just tell the feeling as it is and that's it, because it shows more, it tells more. Okay, so this was the first thing. Then, with being alive, and you will see again, Nuha, when you finish the videos, you will see more explanation about every point. In being alive, the first thing we said is using the five senses, which is the see, the touch, the hear, the smell, right?
Yes.
So now, what you want to do is to ask each other to tell a short story, a 1 minute story using this. It could be an incident. And a simple question could be, for example, what have you done? Tell me one thing interesting you've done yesterday. And the other person need to use as many as possible of the senses, explaining the whole thing and the whole situation. Who was there? Also the who, what, how, and when. So who was there? When did it happen? All of these things. So bringing all the details in the story, of the story. Okay? Is it clear to you, Nuha? I know that Slavica knows exactly what I'm talking about, but is it clear to you, Nuha?
No, not enough. That's why I would ask Slavica to start so I can learn from her.
Good, good. So you can ask her to talk about something and she will do this. She will
Okay.
put these things.
Slavica, can you tell me a situation that happened for you yesterday and you would like to talk about?
Yes. Well, I can tell you a situation that didn't happen yesterday, but it's connected to this as well. So I, since the beginning of the year, I started having anxiety attacks, which never happened to me previously in life, and that's why I'm probably here attending the course and speaking with you. So one of the techniques that my psychiatrist mentioned is basically to use the senses. So every time that I'm preparing to speak or to hold a meeting with a larger group of people, basically these are the 5 senses that I need to focus on. I need to come up with, before starting, I need to see 5 objects that are around me, literally just to look and to say it in my head. There are trees, there is a window, there is a laptop, there is my fridge and magnets, and then I focus on what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing the birds, I'm hearing the machine, I'm hearing the first person that joined the call. Then I go to touching, so I would touch my water, my phone, my laptop or my table, whatever is here. Then smelling, I'm trying to smell whether there is something cooking or it's smelling from the grass outside because they're cutting the grass. And the last one is taste, and that's usually the aftertaste of coffee or tea that you have had prior to the call. But just focusing on these 5 senses and just going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For me, it brings me to the moment, and it affects my nervousness. It affects my anxiety in a positive manner, and then I'm just able to start speaking more peacefully.
Yes, this is very interesting, Slavik, and thank you for sharing the technique with us. However, now you would want to tell a story where you explain things in this way. Meaning, now you told us a technique where you're using all of these senses.
Yes.
Now you would want to tell a story, and remember, you also the who, when, what. Tell us a short story. Something happened. It could be yesterday or a year ago or something you've dreamt, but explaining all of these things.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Or as much as, you don't need to include everything, but as much as appropriate.
So every day we are in a hurry to bring our daughter to school because you need to bring her at a certain moment. Usually we take her with a car, but yesterday I decided to take her with a bike, although we were in a hurry. It's really something common that you do in the Netherlands, but when you don't do it that often, it's just more special. So I'm able to hop on my bike. I have the bike with the wooden part in front of it, so she can stay here. We have the chance to speak to each other. So I hear her singing, I hear her asking questions. We see yesterday the weather was perfect, so we were talking about the sun, we were looking at the sun, we were looking at the wind, and that was super nice. The what other senses? it was smelling like autumn is coming because it's getting very cold in the Netherlands, and she usually has the habit of touching the leaves when we pass somewhere, and that's all awakening the child in you because it's something that she enjoys doing and I have forgotten about. But when I see her do it, I recall the joy that it can bring us all.
Beautiful, beautiful. What do you think, Noha?
It's very nice. I wish I was with them in the same bike.
Yeah. So I love how you brought all the little things, and I could imagine in my head you on a bike with your daughter in front of you talking, and she's singing and asking you questions. Now, what I've been missing is how old is she?
4.5.
Yeah, so if you mention my 4 years old daughter, because
Uh-huh.
big and small, it helps us draw the image in our head. And then
Mm-hmm.
how did the way look
Mm-hmm.
while you're driving? So
Mm-hmm.
what did you have on the sides? What kind of
Mm-hmm.
way? Are you going through a park? Because she's
Mm-hmm.
touching the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going through a park, or is it a street full of cars? Is it a, a bikeway? This is where we
Yeah,
are.
to
So you
put the
were
situation.
smelling, yeah, to put the situation, you were smelling. Maybe you can talk, emphasize on the beautiful nature of the Netherlands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when we draw the image, you're helping us put the pieces together so we have the perfect image. But you've done a very good job. Naha, do you think
Yes,
now it's clear to you?
I think better, and I hope I can give some story life.
Yes. So you want to give as many details as possible to the story. So for the when, Slavika said every day when we go to school, but yesterday she did things differently, and she emphasized that this is common in the Netherlands, but when you do it, when you don't do it often, it becomes special. So she
Yes.
gave us some context here, but it's
Okay.
not something they do every day. You give context and you draw the picture for us verbally.
Okay.
Okay, so
Uh,
Slavika, you choose something.
Mm. Yeah, your last run.
okay. My last run. Yesterday, I woke up at 4 a.m. as usual before the run, and got myself ready and went to the meeting point with my runner mate. And I arrived there. As usual, we have seen dogs on the street which usual come and greeting us. I agreed with my runner mate. I will make my first 3 kilo warm up alone. Then we'll join by the force to go together in the intervals. It was fine, and I greet the group of dogs at the beginning of the street, and they were very nice. While I'm doing my 3 kilo, a group of other dogs, I usually greet them, surrounded me. And suddenly one of them was trying to unlace my sneakers, which I don't know why. And I give him like, are you crazy? Leave me alone. The other group surrounded me and kept pulling me from my shirt, very tough. And one of them was trying to stop me and put her hands on me and trying to stop me from making one single step. As if, are you stupid? You see me every day. What's going on? And I start to give him like angry voice, step back. But every time I'm trying to make a step, they run after me and they try to stop me. They were not attacking, but actually they were trying to stop me. What's going around? You see me every day. What's happening around? And one of the people around was trying to help me. I told him, no, I'm not afraid, but I don't understand what they were trying to do. And I give him like an angry look, step back, I'm going to continue my run. And I run to my runner mate. Still I have like 6 intervals to make. But what happened at the second interval that I start to feel very exhausted and I feel like I'm going to get fainted. And actually I stopped the run. It was very weird for me to discover that they were trying as way or another to stop me going running as if they felt I'm not okay. I'm not sure how far this was accurate, but I was checking with one of my friends. She said, dogs can see your vital signs faster than you can see. They can feel that you are not in the good shape to make the run or to make a step. And that's why they were trying to stop you. They were trying, they cannot talk, but what they were trying is to stop you from making another step. I was just wondering, oh, I thought I'm kind to the dogs. And then I discovered that the dogs are kind to us when they are in the street. They are very nice. They are just trying to greet us. And when they felt we are not okay, they are trying to alert us. They were aware I'm not fine before I felt it. And the good point about it, that they were trying to do it in a very sharp way, but not aggressive way. They were trying to unlace the sneakers. They're trying to pull my shirt. They try to surround me, as if you have someone is telling, hey, stop, you don't have to make further steps. And it was for me an amazing discovery. For me, it was not easy to let it go. And I'm just considering the question how to get it back to them, to return it back to them, because they are lifesaver, actually.
Oh,
Very nice story.
Thank you.
Wow, it's amazing. And I can't imagine myself in that situation. I'm scared of dogs. But
I used to, but not anymore by running.
okay, this is
Mm.
wonderful. Maybe you can teach us or teach me what you've done to
yes,
get rid of
teach
that
us, teach
later.
us.
You
Yes.
you also have issues with dogs. Oh yeah.
Uh,
But now talking about using the
yeah.
senses. So
Yeah.
Slavika, what did you notice?
I could easily picture myself there. I was still interested whether it was warm or not, because that's the first connotation that I have for Egypt in my mind. And is that the reason that you are doing it early? So it triggered me to ask more questions about the surroundings, but that's good. And I could easily picture myself surrounded by dogs doing the runs. I could not easily picture myself in the last scene, to be very honest, but no, it felt natural. It felt
Yes.
self-explanatory.
What do you think she could do to increase the aliveness of the picture in our heads? What could she mention? No, you mentioned the weather.
How did she feel when they were, whether, because I could not understand whether you fear dogs or you don't, when they were pulling your shirt, for example, and when they were stopping you.
Yeah.
So diving more in the
In
inside.
the field. Yes.
Yes. I would also add, what was the path you're running in? So just to draw the surrounding in our head.
Yes. Yes.
So while running in this, are you running in a street? Are you running in a park? Are you
Yes.
running in a mountain? Are you
Yes.
running up or down or a flat? So is it an empty area, no human, but someone was passing? Or is it a crowded place, a crowded street, and dogs were coming? Were there
Uh,
cars around? Were there other people watching you beside the man that stopped to help?
yes.
So these were things that you don't need to mention every single little detail, but sometimes mentioning more when in the big situations like this, you're talking about the situation when dogs were pulling you. If you
Yes.
show the whole picture, we can see more.
Right. Yes.
You mentioned the number of the dogs, I think, right?
No, I didn't mention number of dogs. They were surrounding me. Like it was like 4 or 5 actually. I cannot
Yeah,
recall the number.
so if you can say 4 or 5 dogs,
Yes.
the number could help draw big or small, or these are the things we are talking about, the little details. And then of course, how did you feel, as Slavika mentioned, how did you feel when they were there? You mentioned to the man that you were not afraid, but even
Yeah.
before that, how did you feel from the inside of you? You were
Uh,
talking to the dogs and don't do this, stop,
yes.
are you crazy? But inside of you, what did you feel?
I felt angry because I felt they are stopping me from keeping my run as I wish, because I have the time boundary in the run. And what's going on? You see me every day. Are you nuts? You know me. You know me by heart, because this is the route where I start always the warm up in since December 2020. So I'm here since almost 8 months, 3 times per week. So what's new to come and pretend as if you see me for the first time?
Do you see the detail you just said?
Yeah.
The 8 months? You're
Yes.
here 2 to 3 times a week for 8 months. These are little
Yes.
details that that give us more information than just saying, I'm here every day. Why didn't
Yes,
you recognize me? Now you're emphasizing how much, how often actually they've seen you.
yes, and that's how I feel. Are you crazy? You know me. You know, I'm one of this inhabit. You know me more than the inhabitants of this area. You see me
Yeah.
early in the morning. As if we
So,
have appointment.
so the numbers mattered. How early was it?
It was about 5:30 or 5:45 a.m. It's around this time.
Also, this is an information that could help.
Yes.
Yes, Joe, when you say, I was imagining you running morning for me could be 10 o'clock in the morning. But
Oh,
when you say 5 o'clock in the morning, I can imagine that it's almost dark, right? The sun did not come fully up yet, or just came up.
yes, more or less actually.
So that's also some details that you can mention. All of these are what we are talking about when we say details. You're mentioning, you're bringing the whole story alive. You're not just saying the actions that happen, you're describing the surrounding. Do you know, remember when you're watching a movie, you see the camera going, focusing,
Close.
zooming
Yes.
in certain things, like a picture on the wall sometimes, a specific wooden chair, a cut in the paper. They show you all of this, maybe just wrinkles on a face. They want to
Yes.
show you this. So you know the whole energy surrounding this place where the event is happening. So they're not just telling the event what happened here, they're giving you the whole surrounding and they care about the details. This is what we are trying to say. Now we are not recording a movie, we only have our words to express. Later on, we'll have also, of course, the vocal varieties and the body language, but now we're specifically talking about the words to draw the full picture.
Got it.
So we're talking about building an oral movie.
Okay.
Okay, so another round.
Yes.
Nuha,
Okay.
ask Slavika, please.
Can you tell me about your most amazing holiday you have had?
Yes. We live in Europe for around 10 years already, but one of my most amazing holidays that I had was basically in Vietnam. And the situation when I think about happy memory, this is, I think, the situation that I think of, a peaceful place and happy memory. I go back to, it's called Halong Bay, and it's a ray of stones which are in the middle of the sea. They're in the northern part of Vietnam, and you have to drive with a boat for a couple of hours to get there. The water is extremely peaceful. The stones are like something that you would see in a movie. The country itself, it's still considerably poorer than developed countries. The boat that you are in is a very old wooden boat. You can sense and smell how the wood still smells. And the perfect memory, the most happy memory that I have is waking up at 5 a.m. Nobody else wanted to wake up because it was extremely early. The captain of the boat was teaching us a Tai Chi lesson. I learned that for the first time in my life, and we were on top of the boat at 5 a.m. with the sun coming up, with ocean all around us, and they decided that they will also move the boat. So we were moving the boat, riding with the boat, going to our next destination while practicing Tai Chi. I think it's the most peaceful memory that I have ever had in my life and that I always go back to.
I love this. Nuha, are you still with us? Uh-huh.
Yes, I heard it and
We can't hear you.
yes, I am. I'm with you. change the place because I have to move for a second. Okay.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes,
Is
yes.
it better now, the voice? Okay.
It is better.
I can see.
We can't hear now. Hello? So Nuha, until you come back, because we
Yes,
still have
I'm
okay, you're back.
okay. Okay.
So
I
what do
think
you
it's
think?
my internet connection. I'm sorry. I can see the place from her words. I can see the darkness at the 5 a.m. I could imagine how it looks very beautiful, but I didn't know what's the lesson that you were trying to learn. I didn't understand. Is it sort of dance or it's
Yeah,
what?
what's Tai Chi?
No, Tai Chi is a martial art. It's comparable to yoga. That's the closest that I
Okay.
can think of.
Okay.
It's a martial art, but it basically teaches you movements and how to feel at peace with yourself.
That's very good. That's the first time to hear about it. If it's possible, can you write me the word in the
Yeah, of
WhatsApp group?
course.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
interested to learn more. But I can feel, I
Sure.
could imagine how enjoyable it was because your words draw the place. And I can see the time that you are learning at the time of the movement of the ball. And I felt as if you are coming back to your family, say, hey, I was enjoying my time while you were sleeping. You know, I felt this message was hidden between the statements. As I say, you sleep, I learn. You sleep, I enjoy. You know, this type of thing that we like to tease our family members. Sometimes when they miss something, we try to encourage them to get them in, but I like it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love how you describe the mountains, the sea, the different types of nature, the old wooden boat. And then you brought us in. So you explained the scenery, and then you're in a boat with your family, and then waking up in the morning when the sun coming up and doing Tai Chi. What I would, the questions that were in my head, how big is the boat? Like in the beginning, I thought a small boat, but then Tai Chi, sleeping in a boat, people are sleeping, so it must be a big boat. So
Yeah, we were around 20 people inside.
So that's another
Sleeping.
question, that
Yeah.
the number of people who were playing Tai Chi while, so you were Tai Chi.
Everybody was sleeping. Nobody
So-
wanted to join the lesson.
So it's only
That's why it
you
was
and
precious. Yeah.
it was only you and the captain?
It was me, my husband, and the captain.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
yeah, so your husband and the captain. That's
Yeah.
intimate. You and your husband. I imagined your husband is one of the people who's sleeping as well.
Yes, I thought so.
He had to wake up because of me. He would have slept gladly.
Yeah. So these are the little things. I love that how in general you explained the general, but the specifics of
Mhm.
who was with you,
Yeah.
because it matters, and how big is the boat, how many people were in, and I love that early in the morning, the sun coming up. So you told us well about who, when was it? Now, the other thing that you mentioned, everybody else did not want to wake up. It means that you're coming with these people; they're not tourists. So you were there with family members?
No. They're all just different people that have joined the boat as well.
Okay, so
They're
it was
all.
a group.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
touristic group.
I didn't know any of them.
Yeah. Okay. So, but wonderful work. Good job imagining and drawing the whole scenery. Thank you, Slavika. Now, Nuha's turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have the same question for you. So, an adventurous or a very interesting holiday scene that you can bring us.
Well, one of them was in Fayoum. It was a new adventure for me. I'm one who's used to be accommodated in a very comfortable hotel where everything should be in place, neat, having everything in place. This was totally new because it was a camp in the desert. They call it zero level beginner or beginner campers. And it was amazing for me that there is nothing from what I used to have in place is there. There is no room, there is only a tent, there is no bed, there is only sleeping bag. Uh, There is nothing inside the place. You have to prepare your stuff with you, like your own dish, your own set of spoon, knives, and stuff like this. And what's amazing about is the toilet. The toilet was not near the place at all. We have to go uphill and downhill every time if you want to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, which was an amazing experience for me. And the worst thing about if you reach the toilet after you are going downhill and remember you forgot one of your stuff uphill. And you can hear people there, you can hear their voices in the darkness. I forgot my toilet paper. I forgot my towel. You can hear people and we start to help each other to overcome getting back because it was really like half-kilometer getting up and half-kilometer getting down. So imagine if you forget one of your personal stuff and you have to be back. The question is not about amazing being just only in the camp in the desert under a tent with your sleeping bag. But what the amazing thing that I went there with people that I know no one about. It was about like 10 to 12 persons that I'm going to know each one of them for the first time. Most of them are coming in groups or couples together. Me, I'm coming alone because I decided that I will go whenever I want, not waiting for someone to escort me or to join me. What was amazing about is not only this, it's playing with the foxes in the night because foxes were surrounding the camp and they're actually more like a puppy, not even a dog. You know, it's like they are smart and mean and they make some tactics to steal your food. And we saw that we are smart, but they steal our chicken, they are steal our sneakers, and we run after them because the sneakers were very expensive. We can sacrifice food, but we cannot sacrifice sneakers in the desert. It's one of the way of protecting. And the nice way is while we before going to sleep, the leader or the organizer told us like something, make sure that you don't talk loudly. We can hear everything at night. Please make sure that you don't turn on your lamp or your lantern inside the tent because you are visible as if you are standing in front of us. If you want to change, either go to the downhill and go to the toilet area where you can change your stuff, or don't light your lantern or any type of lamp inside the place or things like this. As if I'm going there and about, okay, just turn it off. I don't have to talk because I have nobody around me. But while I'm sleeping, the amazing side that I start to see, feeling some of the foxes is trying to get down the tent to get inside, and I'm trying to give him like a shoulder. Hey, stay away from here. I swear, if I get you, I will make it like a call for my coat. Don't approach my stuff anymore. It was like a nice fighting in the desert. When I'm just waking up, I found that I fight with the fox. I slept over the land on the ground in my sleeping bag. It was freezing because it was during November in Fayoum in desert. And actually, I have to tell you, this is a very cold place. Don't dare to go there even in summer without having a windbreaker wearing over your dress because it's really freezing at night. But the nicest part of it that I enjoyed it to the maximum. It was like taking myself not from the comfort zone out of the deep comfort zone to the other side. And since that time, I'm trying to make it each once in a while. And the last time I made it, it was in this year during the feast holidays, where I went into 5 different cities in 6 days, where to camp, either using our tent or sleeping bag or even bungalows. We were lucky one day to have a closed room. That's one time. But aside from this, did not happen again. But I encourage you, if you didn't try, to try it once. Really, it's amazing and rediscovering for your abilities.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, now I'm excited to go there, both to Vietnam and to Fayoum. I love this. What do you think, Slavika?
No, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I can picture myself in the desert. I've never been to a desert, and I'm probably going to Google it now and try to find it.
You will like it. I will write the place into our group as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you think she could add?
I think she brought all the senses. I would focus more on the actual experience from start to end. I would just focus it. That's everything. That's all that I would add to what she did. just describe the day from start until the end. Maybe start with the desert, explaining the desert, and ending with the foxes. I think it was a terrific add-on.
I actually agree, and this is what I noticed, Nuha. You brought all the senses and the details, but the order was sometimes a little, maybe little, just a little confusing, because you will answer the question at the very end, because the weather, for example, or just the fact that it's a desert. You
Yes.
started talking about the camping experience without before mentioning a desert, and when you were saying uphill, going uphill, I imagined a mountain. But then you said a desert. Ah, okay, it's a desert.
Yes.
But if you showed us the landscape first, the
Yes.
the surrounding first, and the climate and the time of the year, all of this, the number of people maybe, and then started to go in more details, it would have made it easier for us to track the story and to enjoy it without just thinking, okay, drawing a picture, but no, 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 it's not like that. Then something that no, 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 because a desert it must be hot. Then it's very cold, it's freezing. So people going out at night to the toilet that's uphill in a freezing desert, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
So all of these things, it's just the order. You brought all the details, but the order of them could be improved by starting with the general and then zooming in slowly. And as Slavika said, starting the day, you started like this. How did you feel when you found that it's a camp and you have to go uphill to go to the toilet? And you're used to the pamphlet. So you mentioned the facts, but you did not mention your feelings based
Yes.
on these facts. So this can enhance also our experience as audience. What I love also that you ended up with a call to action. So you did not forget that you're telling the
Yeah.
story in order to give something to your audience, which is amazing. You ended up with a call to action for us.
Thank you.
Very good. So I know that time's up. I would just like to hear from you reflection and what did you like takeaways, things that you will take away with you out of this session.
Okay, I will start. I feel like I have to more in, I felt two things about myself right now. I have rich experience, lots of it, and diversified, but I need to squeeze the experience to get the juice out from it.
Yeah.
Because when I'm telling the super, maybe because and why I'm not squeezing it, because I feel what I'm saying, maybe most of people has done it, maybe most of people are not interested in, but maybe I have to recall for something else. While we are doing this exercise, I can recall one of the things that one of my trainers told me. You have rich experience, don't hesitate to share with your participants, please. She told me this. And at that time, okay, I will try to search for more about the professional experience. But today I can tell that when I'm talking, I feel like I'm shy to share my experiences. Everybody has more rich experience than I have. Definitely, people have lots of experience, but we are here to share our experience to learn from each other, which I listed as a point for myself. That's for me.
Very good, very good. And
No,
I think
absolutely.
this is something that we all go through. We think, what do I have to add to others? They must have known this, they must have thought of this. But we forget
Yes,
that when we listen to others saying the same things, we get inspired.
yes,
Thank you, Noha. What about you, Slavika?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Noha is saying. But my defense mechanism, she would perhaps, I don't know what is your defense mechanism, to be honest, in everyday life. I would just keep it short and I would shorten the story and I would not add the details, and that would not make the story interesting. Basically, I am just trying to put it in 2 3 sentences, which is not enough. Nobody will feel, nobody will understand the surroundings, and I see how the benefit of taking the time to explain myself. That's the first takeaway. And the second is just practice improvisation. I think it takes us, at least it takes me absolutely out of my comfort zone.
And you're
Even
doing it
though
beautifully.
even though it's something as explaining something from your personal life, it really takes me out of my comfort zone, and I'm super happy to do it together with you in the group.
You're doing it very well, Slavika. And here you mentioned an important point that we. So what's happening with Nuha? She wants to squeeze to get the juice out of it, and I like this metaphor. But for you, you're already squeezing too much.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
it's only drops that you're putting out because you're
exactly.
afraid to bore
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
The thing is, I think there should be a balance, not only of what to share, but when to share more. There are contexts where you can share much more and give so many details, but other contexts, like in business meetings,
Yeah,
you have a specific point. So you want to be telling just the juice.
yeah,
So here it's about our senses. Yes, sometimes if we share so much, and maybe you can think of people who share too much, and they're storytellers, they say too much, but okay, tell me the point. What's the point? I don't have time. Because it's not the time to share too much. Sometimes you're sitting around and just, I want to know more. Just tell me more and tell me more. So here it's all about finding the balance. So thank you, ladies, for taking the time and getting out of your comfort zone. I can already see a lot of development in both of you in bringing the balance of speaking, improvising, with being to the point, but also with a lot of details. And I look forward to our next session because we will be talking about the vocal varieties. So this week will be a little different. You're not talking about the words. You will still work on your speeches, please do. But otherwise, you will not have too much work to do, but to practice, exercise your voice. If you have any question, please, any time of the week, if you have, of course, now, but I don't want to take longer of your time. But during the week, if you're stuck, don't hesitate to share because we're here to support each other, all of us. Okay? So
thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Good luck. I think Nuha's image is stuck. I hope you're hearing us, Nuha. I will upload this hopefully tomorrow in our so you can watch the recording in the platform and have a nice end of the week.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.